What's up, everybody? We're back with another NC9 Talk. I'm Nicholas, and this is my papa, Carlos.
What's up?
Today we have two special guests, very special guests.
Yeah.
All-time great coach, Coach Zach Orrick, and offensive coordinator of the century, Max Orrick.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yep.
Welcome.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this for months. Thank you.
Yeah, we've been ever since flag football season, we've been talking about it, how we need to have you on the show. And you see the Chicago Bears in the background, so you know what's going to happen today. Niners fans, Chicago Bears fans, it's the first time we've ever done this, so I'm glad we can have you on the show.
First time in NC9 Talk. We actually know. We've had other, guests who like other teams, but we never actually played against them. So This is pretty cool.
So to start off, what do you think about the Chicago Bears season? They just have Caleb Williams, the first overall pick. They're starting off the year. How do you think about this year overall?
I mean, I'll start because I grew up in Chicago. I come from a legacy of many generations of Bear fans. We do not have a championship legacy like the Niners do. Legacy of toughness that is unquestioned in the National Football League, is one of the original football teams in the league. I think the mold of defense and toughness, I'd like to say, came out of Chicago, but the Niners have really embodied that I see that for the last 10, 15 years, which I appreciate very much.
Yeah.
I've been out here in the Bay Area for almost 30 years. He was born here, but didn't have much chance to be a Niner fan, I don't think.
There's some cursed with it. I'm cursed with
Chicago Bears.
It's one of the most painful things to be. If you've ever watched in the last, 5-10 years, they get a lot of national games and a lot of young quarterbacks losing in spectacular fashion.
Yep.
So that's been tough.
Yeah.
When you asked us to do this podcast, both the teams were looking quite good after about 5 games.
Yeah.
And the Bears have gone on a 6-game losing streak after they're 4-2. And so after firing their head coach after another just tremendously
Time out.
loss for the whole nation. Everybody's watching that one on Thanksgiving with nothing else to do. So we're really excited to see the new Bears. I never thought it was Caleb Williams was the problem, but really excited. We were excited to have him. Why don't you talk about it?
I mean, with Eberflus gone, I think Thomas Brown's definitely gonna, do a better job, help Caleb out. I think Caleb wasn't the entire problem. I mean, he's done better as weeks have gone on. He definitely struggled early season, but as he's gone on, he worked through adversity, through some injuries, with the defense just not playing great. So the offense definitely struggled too. But I think Caleb's really gonna come into a better player as the season goes on.
Yeah, he's been balling out as of late, but the past 3 losses, it's just like a blocked field goal, the missed timeout, and the onside kick against who are they playing? Are they playing the Vikings?
Yes, they did. Thank you.
The Vikings, and they got the onside kick, and then they ended up losing that game. So it's just like these sketchy losses. It just after Caleb Williams is having great second halves.
Yep.
So it's he's really showing a spark to the team that's from a quarterback standpoint that the team hasn't seen in a while.
That's a young team, though.
Yeah.
Things happen like that to a young team, which in so many ways is kind of like a positive that you get, momentum for maybe next year or maybe even this year. That's how we feel about the Niners.
They're on a 3-game losing streak, and injuries keep piling up. I know we haven't done this show in a few weeks. We've been pretty busy, but yeah, this is a lot of injuries piling up, and also for the Bears, DeAndre Swift and DJ Moore, they're questionable for this game, so they're probably 2 weapons that Caleb Williams uses the most. So that'll be interesting to look.
Good for us, yay!
Yeah. I'm pretty confident that both those guys are going to start, and they're going to have great games. Nico, you noted the last 3 games, which have been heartbreaking losses against division rivals.
Yeah.
I'd say the best division in football this year from top to bottom.
Oh, they're all. Oh, yeah, they're all the.
Now, DJ Moore, because the last 3 games, Thomas Brown got elevated to offensive coordinator because they fired Shane Waldron. and Thomas Brown was in charge of that offense, where they were in it to the last play of every game. So finally, DJ Moore is getting the ball, and they're not having to rely too much on the run. And so I really think this is going to be neat. The defensive coordinator also, Eric Washington, is going to get, because Eberflus has been meddling around a lot in the defense. And so he's going to be calling all the plays and being the defensive coordinator. So both sides of the ball have brand new coaches in charge.
Well, I wish I could say so much positive for our defense. Our defense has been, it's been horrible.
They just get ran up on in a pass, like it's just everywhere on the field. That defense is getting chewed alive.
Something about this year doesn't feel right. Like the heart, the heart's not there. That passion in that team is just, I don't know, something's different this year. But oh well, it is what it is. This is why they play every week. They got all these injuries, but there's no excuse. I mean, so many teams are injured.
Yeah, and
So,
look at what they're doing, like, with the stuff they have. Like, the Bears are going through this, all these coaching changes. I mean, they're not going to get no excuses. So, like, you just got to play football, And this is the time where, like, heading into, a playoff push where you need to win these games. It's just the time where, you got to put all that aside and just, have some dog and have some pride.
Yeah, a lot of history, too, with Niners and Bears, from, the 80s, the 90s. These kids don't know about that, but we do. We borrowed one of my favorite linebackers of all time, Singletary. He was our coach. I love his passion, but I think he was too passionate for the 49ers bosses that had to let him go, because man, that dude was fire. And you see it in his eyes, right? In his highlights.
Yeah, it was great. He told Vernon Davis what time it was, and he had quite an impact on that team when they were not living up to the tradition that the Niners are used to having. So I appreciate the nod on Mike Singletary.
A lot of history. So, like you mentioned in the beginning of the season when we were talking about this, our projection was different than how it is now, right? So.
Yeah.
Right now, I think, and we discussed this earlier.
They were both in leading their divisions. When we were talking about
it. Like, wow, all right.
So
let's get great game.
But I think at the same time, because they're so desperate right now to get wins, I think we're gonna get a really good game.
Because they're both hungry.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the Niners, they have a 4% chance of making the playoffs, and the Bears have a 1% chance.
You're saying we have a chance.
Hey,
Both chances, Bears, I want to say it's there, but, we tend to lose in spectacular ways, so I'm really looking forward to this game.
Yeah.
At this point, you just got to win, and the rest will take care of itself.
Now the Niners have a top to bottom, their roster. They came in with much higher expectations.
Yeah, of course.
They lead in every category: offense, rushing, passing. I think the Bears only lead in takeaways on their defense.
Hey,
so I'm looking forward to is.
That's major
because one thing with Purdy is like we've discussed it. Once he say he throws an interception in this game, he's gonna get hesitant, and he's been hesitant this season. So.
It's like a domino effect. It gets in your head.
So
it's like missing a shot.
Yeah,
it gets in your head.
So exactly, you just gotta think about the next play. You gotta get back out there. Because when you overthink, that's gonna lead. He's been pump faking a lot. So if the defensive line gets home, we can see a lot of fumbles in this game by Purdy, and I feel that would be a good recipe for success for the Bears, which I hope doesn't happen. But
I appreciate it. Now, who are the Niners going to lean on with all the guys, all the backups in and rookies, and who are you looking to shine this week?
Well, I really think with the running backs, so CMC, Jordan Mason are both on IR.
They're both out, so they upgraded number 32.
Patrick Taylor, and they have Isaac Guerrero, but I think the most important piece in this offense is going to be George Kittle. And George Kittle I think he's been the best tight end in the league for a few years. Just being all around, like he can do it all.
Yeah.
And Kyle Shanahan just needs to activate him,
need to use him more.
Get him the ball, get him in space. But one disappointing piece this year has been Debo. Debo has 21 yards, 21 yards. Like he's not really doing too much. So hopefully he can, have a Debo game this week, which I really expected him to have these past few weeks.
last week, but he didn't. So, what
Yeah.
about you guys? Who you think? Who's going to come out on top on your end? Who needs to come out and play strong for you guys to have a chance to win?
Jay Moore.
I mean,
DJ
and the
Moore,
man
DJ
is
Moore,
throwing
DJ
to
Moore.
him. I
Yep.
mean, those guys are getting paid. That rookie's in there for a reason.
And I think it's pretty good because one of our running backs is actually injured. He got a concussion against in the Detroit game. So now that we have, really only one main running back, we're not going to have to rely on him too much because, now with Thomas Brown as head coach,
Mhm.
we're definitely going to be doing more like just offensive plays.
Well,
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the tight end. They've been waiting until the second half to get the tight end involved. Cole Kmet.
The man, yeah.
And I think they really got to get the tight ends involved a lot earlier. I think Eric in Washington on the defensive side is going to be pinning their ears back and coming hot. He's a much more aggressive defensive coordinator than Eberflus was. And I think I just think it's an exciting time for football to have both sides of the ball led by really respected. I think the defensive coordinator Eric Washington, Eberflus is the worst coach he's ever worked for. He was under Lovie Smith, Ron Rivera, Sean McVay, and these guys all have been a part of championships. Both coaches are part of championships with the Rams. Sorry about that. But I like the young black coaches in the league. It just is good for the league in general. So
Yeah.
I think that's
So-
exciting.
If you guys can open up a run game, it's a good recipe against the Niners this year for sure. We had a streak of 100 and
Like so much games on a few four maybe years.
4 years of not allowing no one to rush for 100
100
yards.
yards. And last game, James Cook.
We've
shattered
had
it.
it 2 weeks now back to back,
Oh yeah, Josh Jacobs and now
Yeah.
James Cook.
2 weeks back to back, and we're not tackling no one. And something I've seen this year for the Niners, they're not adjusting correctly.
And that's the defensive coordinator,
They're
Nick
not-
Sorensen.
And then it also has to do with this is the 5th year, I think, or 4th year in a row that we have a different defensive coordinator.
yeah,
It really doesn't help. And so it's if you guys can open up a run game, which I hope you don't, it could be a long game for us on the defensive side.
yeah. I think honestly that this might be like a offensive game on both sides where, because the Niners defense I hope they step up, but every time I think it's just like what's going on. So I feel offense needs to step up, and that means Caleb Williams will have to respond. And I think, by the way he's been playing, I think it should just be like just going back and forth with this. Hopefully, the Bears defense don't just smother Purdy and it leads to picks. But
One thing I've noticed too, some teams when they change mid-year coaches, they have a different fire
yeah,
under them.
different identity.
Different fire. I mean, they're going to start doing different things that a team they're facing they haven't seen before. So it's harder to scout. So it should be interesting. I mean, this is not a snowy game, so it should be better for Purdy, but
Sure.
Oh,
Well, speaking of coaches, what do you guys think about Shanahan and what's going on over there?
so I don't know. Is it we get rid of him? Who the heck are we going to replace him with?
Exactly.
A lot of people want to replace him. I'm one of them. Not to replace him, but we've been wondering, like, he's so creative, but he's been lacking creativity. You know what I mean?
I feel like
When-
he tried to do the same things that he did a few years ago, and it just, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on, but like, it's like an in between. It's just like, you need him on your team because like who else are you gonna get? He's such a great coach.
He is.
But then it's like, what is he doing?
We're being spoiled, right? Because
Exactly,
if
yeah.
you imagine the last 4 or 5 years, we've dominated the league,
Yeah.
at least in our division, right? NFC West, Super Bowls, NFC Championship, Super Bowl. We haven't won it, but I mean, so I guess it's hard to who we're gonna replace him with.
Yeah.
I just think injuries play all this. I think we should have never changed our defensive coordinator. This defensive coordinator hasn't done it, at least this year.
Yeah.
Maybe next year, who knows? But I think the next few years will tell a lot if the direction they're gonna go with Kyle Shanahan for sure.
Yeah. Ever since that Bears game against the Patriots, where it was 19-3, they've had like a different like They played a lot different. They played very well
Yeah,
against those the 3 games in a row against your division rivals,
and that's tough.
and it was all one possession games where they could have easily won, and they only lost by, what was it, 3 each time. So they're gonna be even more hungry, and the Niners haven't come out hungry.
Niners
at all.
last 2 games back to back have gone smoked.
So yeah, Bears coming out with a different fire, so that's gonna be a huge problem.
This is what I think is going to be a good game because they both need a win
Yeah.
badly.
Well, I mean, I think they're going to be coming so hot at Caleb. I mean, the Niners' best shot is to go through their defense and Fred's. I mean, he's not hurt, is he?
He's playing hurt though. That's a fractured ankle. He's been.
He hasn't
since
been
week
the same
4.
since week like 6,
Yeah.
week 2, week 3. He hasn't been the same.
Because he fractured his ankle in week 4, but he's been playing through it the whole time. So, I mean,
They're
Missed
going to have to
tackles,
list. Yeah.
like they're hitting the wrong holes. It's like I'm watching like a JV football team, to be honest with you. It's very frustrating.
Well, the Bears' offensive line is terrible, so you go ahead and
No Bosa, I mean,
yeah, no Bosa,
no Trent Williams.
there's no Javon Hargrave, no Kevin. A lot of people on IR on defense too. Yeah.
You know
Wait,
what?
do you know half the guys who are starting tomorrow? Do you? I mean, have you looking
I
at?
I know he's starting tomorrow, but it's
He knows
just
who's starting, but it's just that's just something that we missed this year. Our depth is not the same as the last few years.
because we let guys walk and just expected our starters to be like, okay, we have the same stars, but then now those guys are hurt, so
Our
like,
depth is just not replacing those holes.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately.
we're-
So,
yeah.
so tell us, guys, who's going to be your X factors, and let's hear a prediction from you guys.
Yeah, score prediction.
Okay, go ahead.
Score prediction. God.
Just tell us your X factors, offense and defense.
I mean, for defense, we have a safety injured, and our defense has actually really struggled as of late, especially with the safeties. I mean, with the Commanders game,
Oh,
don't even get me started with the safeties. And now we have a backup. I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster. So if you're throwing deep balls, that's what I'm afraid of on the defensive end. And then for the offensive end, I think we can just get moving and kind of just get Caleb ready, kind of get him have his second half play time, kind of start out. If they can start out with that fire under Thomas Brown, start out going, I think we're definitely gonna have a chance.
Yeah, because this is the first game without Eberflus, right? So they're gonna come out. I feel like they're gonna come out hot.
Yeah.
'Cause,
they had a bye week.
No, they played the Thanksgiving game, so it's been more
It's
long.
been like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Since then, this is the first game with the new coach.
Yep.
Yes.
They're gonna come in with oof.
This is a dangerous game.
Yeah.
These guys are talking about quite a bit, man. I think you're setting
Yeah,
all the Bear fans up for another big.
I feel like a last second
Yeah.
Bears disaster
Listen,
might be coming.
I don't know, man. I mean, you've seen our games
Like,
this year, so
At
it's
this
just,
point, like when they lost to Seattle, I was like, okay, I don't know.
we dominated. What was it? Dominated Seattle,
We
Arizona, and the
dominated
Rams.
Seattle, Rams.
All 3 games we dominated until the last 20 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
See,
and
that's, I think the turnovers are going to be key
Yeah,
more than ever. I mean, I think the Niners are going to get to Caleb Williams. It's going to be, is he going to hang on to the ball? He has had 0 interceptions in the last 3 games. So the X factor is if he can keep that streak alive and
Yeah.
play smart. Okay, number 1. Number 2, special teams. I mean, really,
yes.
special teams have been absolutely terrible, dude. I'm telling you, there have
Yeah, our
been
special teams-
blocked field goals. There have been run backs. There have been I mean, there's too much.
Yeah.
That,
Our special teams are not great either. I'm telling you. So
yeah, kick return touchdowns on us.
we're even. We're pretty even. On
Special
all-
team. And Brock Purdy, for the last few weeks, I mean, he hasn't had a Purdy game in so long. So hopefully he could,
It's been tough.
and especially no CMC, no Jordan Mason. So, and Debo not playing too how Purdy's just might have to put on the Superman cape for this one.
Well, Kittle needs to play.
Yeah.
Can we start? Can we talk about Debo for a sec, please?
Yes.
What about him?
It's really hard. I'm a big fan especially watching.
Receiver on Netflix. You know, you gotta like.
Oh yes.
yeah.
It's hard to see him so frustrated on the sideline. That's hard. I mean, that guy, he is all about joy. He's a simple man, and he does his job. To see him as frustrated as he is, and to have, it looks like he's got some demons. I mean, in the past it's been injuries, but right now he's really in his.
I think he's the healthiest he's been in a long time, and it's just there's no production. But I think that comes down to getting your best players the ball, and if Kyle Shanahan is very creative. That's what we're saying.
Look at the Lions. Look at Dan Campbell. Look what he's doing.
He's getting the ball to his offensive line. I mean, come on.
He can get the ball to anybody he wants, and Shanahan is.
So what are we doing? We have Kittle, who's a beast. We have Debo, who's a beast. So why aren't we creating plays like you were in the last 2-3 years
to get them the ball?
To get him the ball. Get him the ball in open space. I know you can do screens with these guys, sweeps, but it just seems I don't know.
It's just the same thing. I feel like.
And the league has caught up to it.
Yeah, it's like, what example? Like, it's just like they really just found out. Okay, this is what Shanahan does. So now we know how to like just play. We can play that now. Because, like it's outdated.
Look, we're last in yards after the catch. We're number one the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and they're like in their separation yards. It's horrible. It's just.
What happened to the Yak Bros? I mean, that was part of what Devo was all about.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the Yak Bros. Looks like they disappeared, but hopefully, this is week 14. There's 4 more games left. Hopefully, they could, just reappear from the.
Kiddo and Debo needs to step up. Well, Kiddo has stepped up. He just needs the ball more. That's all. Feed him. Feed him. And the more he gets fed, it's more dangerous for the other team.
So what about your score prediction?
Without the ball, he's one of the best blockers in the league by far. He's such a great tight end to watch. I mean, I think the Niners up and down are
football player.
Yeah, he doesn't even care about the ball. Like games, it's just like he's worried about like the win and like making plays for his team to win, and that's what you need. But what are your score predictions for this game? If Niners are at home, Bears are coming to Santa Clara.
The Niners' favorite.
On the NFL preview, Bears.
They got more.
It's 6-4.
Yeah, they got more picks against the Niners.
So, they're favored by 3, and that's the
Niners.
Home. Yeah, that's just for being home.
That's just because they're home.
So if anything, it cancels out.
Pretty much cancels it out right now.
What do you think? Final score? I've got.
I want to say both. Like low 20s for both teams. Low 20s, maybe high teens. I want to say like 14 to. I want to say the Bears. I want to say higher. I want to say like maybe mid 20, maybe high 20s, maybe like. I can't. I don't know what the Bears are gonna do. Like I don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna give it up. I think that both teams are gonna score. I think we're gonna have like a 33 to a 34-33. Okay.
1 point game.
No, hold on. 30-33 Niners.
Niners?
Yeah, I think the Niners are going to pull it off.
30-33.
What about you, Max?
Come on, Max. Give us something.
Let me reverse that. All right, Bears. I'm gonna go with the Bears. I think with Eberflus not calling those 4th down plays. I feel like we could get the kicks off. We could get a timeout off. Possibly, call a timeout. We'd be good. I mean, only time will tell. What about you guys?
33-30. What about you?
I feel if the Bears win, I think it'll be a close game. But if the Niners win, I feel there'll be like a 10-point, 13-point game where I think the Niners will pull off 30-21, which I think they're just gonna pull off. It'll be one of those okay, it's 24-21. Niners seal off the day with a touchdown, and it just. I think it's gonna be a close game, and the Bears will give them problems just because this young quarterback who's who's been playing. I mean, in losses, he's been having really great clutch halves just to like reel his team to try to win these games against division rivals.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a recipe for success for the Bears. So it'll be really tough to play for sure.
I got the last 4 years. I've picked the Niners to score over 28 points, just because they had the team to do it.
They haven't scored 28 in.
They were averaging 28 points, even with Jimmy G. They were averaging 28 points. This
Jimmy
year,
Garoppolo.
yeah, this year I just can't do that. I think they're gonna win 21-18. They win by a field goal. They win by a field goal, but they win by a field goal. But I can also see Bears winning by a field goal.
Okay, I switched mine to 34-31. There you go.
Switch.
So I see the Niners winning by 3. They're just not. I don't think the way they've been playing, I don't see them scoring that much. Until I see it, then I'll be like, okay, they're back on track. Give me the next 2-3 games to say that. But for right now, 21, I think, a lot to ask right now. For some reason, it's crazy to say,
Yeah.
but 21-18, they went by field goal. It's a close game. I think your QB holds the ball too long. And that's what I've been hearing.
Because
I haven't watched a lot of their games, but
ever since college, he just gets kind of college a little bit.
and I hear that a lot. So I think one possession is going to cost them, which will allow us to kick that game-winning field goal. I think
That's what I hope. I hope the Niners win.
I hope for a good game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great game. I think both fans have no idea what to expect.
It's just it's unpredictable now.
I mean, it could be a rock fight like 13-14. Like, we have no idea.
6-9,
Yeah.
fourth quarter, all field goal.
38-35.
Or like 45,
They might not score at all, dude.
But you were saying that you're going to be at the game, Coach Zach. So I hope you enjoy that for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel it's going to be a great game. And this might be the first father and son for Niners Bears podcast ever in the history of the world. So this
Carlos, Nico, well done.
yeah, I think that's an ESPN stat. So ESPN's going to have to post that later.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are always invited.
Yeah.
We got to get together again. This was awesome.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll see you guys.
Well, 30-21, 21-18,
34-31.
and 34-31, but
The
flip.
Bears,
for Bears.
Niners, us Niners.
Okay. Well, Niners play the Bears this week on Sunday, 125 at Santa Clara. Let's hope for a great
Is
one.
Tom Brady going to be there?
I hope Tom Brady's commentating. Now,
I doubt it. He's staying way away from us.
well, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Later on.
Guys.